So we're just getting off the holidays. We have this story from the Seattle Times. Passengers sue Alaska Airlines Boeing after 737 MAX 9 fuselage blowout. Wow. Well, that's the big news, I guess, because it really does matter to you if your plane is going to, have a blowout. One of our guests, who was supposed to fly here on United, had their flight canceled because we got an email saying your trip has been canceled because the Boeing 737 MAX 9 they're all being inspected. So this plane's no longer available and the flight will no longer be happening.
Damn.
Have you heard about, they just identified the phone case on the iPhone that fell out of that flight? It hit the ground at 75.
What was the phone case?
It's, I should have come prepared for this comment.
Yeah.
But apparently this was the big thing with all of these case file, whatever. They were somebody needs to tell us stat what it is.
Yeah, but
it fell from the sky at 75 miles an hour.
And
the phone works.
If I take my phone with no case and I whip it at the ground as hard as I can and it hits the grass, it's going to be fine.
I don't know, man.
This phone landed in the phone they found landed in a bush. And a guy was out for a run and he looks and there it is. Yeah, your phone hits the tree, bounces back and forth. It's not going to break. These things are amazing.
Tim, the sky.
Yeah,
I thought it was crazy
terminal
that
velocity.
It was open. There was no passcode or anything.
Well, it's because the person was apparently reading their email about their baggage, which is the crazy thing. So when the dude found it and opened it, it opened up to an email saying, your baggage fee or whatever.
Maybe this sounds too perfect. Now I'm starting to get skeptical.
Could you imagine if someone sitting in that chair
could identify what flight it was on?
So you're sitting in the chair and your phone gets sucked out.
Yeah. Or imagine you're sitting next to the door with your seatbelt off.
Well, and that was the thing.
And you get sucked out.
The two people that were supposed to sit there last minute decided not to go on this trip. And so the seats were empty. Now it seems a little sketchy.
Well, I don't
know.
That was they actually explained that what had happened was the two people who were supposed to sit there were waiting in the lounge before the flight, and it was a guy and a woman, and the guy fell asleep, and then he woke up in a cold sweat, screaming the plane was going to crash. And so he started yelling, and they pulled him off the plane. So he's like, I got to get out of here. I got to get off this plane. They pulled him out. And then that happened. And now they're marked by death. And even though they escaped the plane.
That sounds plausible.
This is the plot of Final Destination. Serge over here gets it.
No, I don't get it. And I believe you 100%.
Okay, well, there's 12 Final Destination movies.
12 of them?
Probably. They're all the same.
They're all the same.
And they're all basically a guy and a woman go on an airplane. The plane crashes, and then he wakes up and goes, what did I just witness? I had a vision. Freaks out. They throw him off the plane crashes, and then they go, you cheated death, and now death is coming for you. And then, instead of just having them, I don't know, slip and hit their head in their bathroom, death decides to have some circuitous Rube Goldberg device, spin around 12 times.
Death gets bored. Death needs something to do.
I guess. I'd like to do my version of, I want to make short films, and mine would be Final Destination, but, if death was competent. And it would just be the guy goes home, walks up his stairs, slips on ice, bashes his face on the ground, and that's it.
Did you ever see The Seventh Seal? That Bergman film? So death comes for this guy, and the guy's like, okay, well, I'll play a chess for it. And they
that old movie.
Yeah, it's an old movie. It's 70s or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
How
one
many of
better
those
than
did
Final
they make,
Destination.
though? Just one?
It was really just the one.
So Final Destination is a bad concept, and then they made it 12 times? Seems
I don't think it's a bad
to
concept. I just think The Seventh Seal probably was really good. I like that movie.
I've been flying a lot lately, and I noticed the service on these planes have become really
it's unbearable.
bad. I don't know if it's a start of Pete Buttigieg's recruitment of his diversity and equity inclusion recruitment, but it's been really, really bad.
No, I think it's cultural breakdown.
It's everywhere. 'Cause it's in restaurants and everything, too.
Yeah, everything.
It's not just planes.
Yeah, it is
It's
everywhere.
everywhere. Service is falling through the floor.
It's crazy, too. Plus tipping culture.
Right.
Oh,
it's kind of
that's out of control.
Right. I go to Starbucks, and then there's a tip thing that pops up, and it's $1, $3, $5 tip. And I'm like, bro, I ordered a $2 coffee. And then there's
ordered something online from a store, a small business, and they asked me to tip, and I thought, no, I don't think you get stores.
Well, I was at Starbucks when we were in Des Moines, and the tip jar said, on a scale of $1 to $10, how attractive are you? And I was like, brilliant, but kind of crazy that we're getting to the point where it's like, can I get a $10 tip, sir?
So I went to this place, Anytime Fitness, to work out in the morning as I woke up. And there was no workers there, just a fob. They trust people to go in with a fob. So I'm like, this is great. I was going to pay for a day pass, so I worked out there. Great little fitness place. Then I went to the pizza place next door, and I just ordered a salad, and the tip popped up. I'm like, even at a little pizza place, they got the tip popping up, and we've become almost like a guilty culture now. You feel almost like
that's how I
they're
feel.
pushing you to feel guilty that you have to give $1 or
right?
$2.
Or like
nobody wants to do their jobs.
Checkout. Yeah.
Nobody wants to do the jobs they're doing. I don't know what it is they want, but I will say that the millennial generation and large portions of the younger generations want to do literally nothing. Somebody's got to do the work and make the food. And what's happening is, maybe it's strong men make hard times. For the previous generation, we're like, here's my job. This is the job that I do. It's the job I have. Now it's like, oh, I have to go to work today. I'm going to half-ass it.
And it used to be a common thing when the cashier or the waiter was nice. Now it's like a rarity. Wow, that person was nice. It's like, whoa.
Well, and there's all these things too. Like I've been seeing, different, things online about job interviews, and it'll be the person being like, so this person came in for a job interview. They wanted to work only 4 days a week. They wanted to know about the work-life balance. It's a starting position. They wanted 150 to start. And it's all of this sort of crazy stuff. Like, what happened to the thing where you take a job, you want to do well for your personal life, you want to do well professionally, and so you work your ass off, you work overtime, you come in early, you stay late. I've done that with jobs I hated, I do that with a job I love, but like I've done that with jobs that I just don't like. And I think to myself, I'm grateful to have a job. I'm grateful I have health insurance. I'm going to work hard not to get fired like somebody else just got fired. It's not going to be me.
Do you think part of it is that there's no vision for the future with the young generation? I think the younger generation is so weirdly hopeless and dark that they're sort of like, there is no motivation to do anything, right? They don't aspire to anything greater
Nihilism.
because nihilism. Like it's the same thing when they talk about climate change and they're like, well, I don't want to have kids because I don't want to burden the climate with my children and my children with the climate or whatever. Like
having more kids makes bad weather.
They feel like they work in these endless jobs that sort of go nowhere. They feel like they don't create. Everything is faceless. Like they are sort of numb to everything around them, and so there's actually no momentum behind their choices. Like when you talk about, I'm going to work this job really hard because maybe this isn't where I'm going to be forever, but it's the job I have right now and it could get me somewhere else. Like you are a forward-thinking person.
Plus, there's
everybody
this
wants
whole
to be the main
concept.
character.
Yeah. But like, be the main character. The main character doesn't always have $150,000 a year and 4 days a week and work-life balance. Sometimes the main character just works their ass off.
No, the main character in Shaun of the Dead was lazy, half-assed, had terrible ideas, got his friends killed, and he's still the main character. Yeah.
Or like on Reels or TikToks, they have these things that girls talk about, like rom-com jobs, where they like are.
What's a rom-com?
It's like jobs that I will leave for tip. No, I'm just kidding. But they like work at bookstores and they like know about books and it's pretty and they have like tiny studio apartments and there's something they kind of romanticize
like that.
Right. Or they like are cafe girls. They work in waitresses and then like eventually they meet a handsome man and get married. Like there are jobs that people kind of can spin and tell themselves like maybe this isn't forever, but there's something kind of
maybe we need a dictator. Maybe we literally need a dictator to be like
just for day one.
No, for 3 months. Because these people who are like, I want a job, like the idea that I get to have a big house, I get to have whatever I want, all the latest devices and all the latest fashion, and I'm going to, like Friends, for instance. I work at a coffee shop and I live in this massive New York apartment.
They explained it eventually, but yeah.
Sure. What, like an heiress? What was the explanation?
The explanation was it was Monica's grandma's apartment. Yeah, and it was rent controlled, and Monica took it over, and the landlord doesn't know that Monica's grandma is dead. Because you can't grandfather those things in.
Right. Well, so what happens is
or grandmother them.
All these young people expect free stuff. And I'm just like, I would love if but for a moment these people had to survive off of their own wits. And we just dropped them in the middle of the woods and said, good luck. Because then they'd be like, but where's my latte in my apartment? Make it. But someone else should do it for me, and we should tax you and take your money so that I can live in this beautiful place. The government should pay for my bills and should cover the cost of my utilities, and someone else should cover the cost of transportation for me, and then I should be able to, make a Chaz farm. Remember the Chaz farm?
Yeah, that was ludicrous, and it was filled with rats, and they tried to clear it just recently. They cleared it. I had the same conversation with my son, who was like, people should have free health care. And I was like, really? Who should pay for it? And he was like, the government should pay for it. And I was like, hon, have you heard of taxes? And he was like, what? And I was like, I pay taxes. I work really hard and I pay taxes. Should I pay taxes so that other people can have free stuff that I pay for myself? And he was like, oh, maybe I should rethink this.
Yeah.
Yeah, think it through, people. Nothing is free.
I've told this story before, but during Occupy Wall Street, someone gifted like 5 or 10 acres of farmland. I think it was more than that. I think it might have been like 20 or something. And they said, you know, anybody who wants to come and live here can utilize the land and live off the land. And a bunch of these hippie-dippy moron college kids were like, yeah, I'm going to live carbon neutral and just live off the land because everybody knows that peasants had more vacation time than the modern worker.
That's such trash.
They really believe that. And I always, you know, how long did my friend last on this farm? 2 weeks.
That's it.
2 weeks was all it took. And she came back and I was like, weren't you going to go live on that farm and just live off the land? And she was like, I would wake up at 6 a.m. and go to bed at 11 and I would work the whole time. And I'm like,
That sounds like my day.
It sounds like living on a farm. She's like, yeah, but it was crazy. Like, I don't have time to read or watch TV or even take a shower. And I'm like,
right.
Yeah, yeah, it sounds like living on a farm.
Yeah.
Oh, you like living your petroleum-fueled luxury reality in America.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.